Today's top stories. President Duterte will be attending Papua New Guinea's first hosting of the APEC Economic Leaders Meeting. Malacanang vows to make the Philippines more business-friendly to bring down unemployment. Consulate officials warn Filipinos to be on alert as wildfires continue to raze Ventura County in California. And the DENR observes Global Warming and Climate Change Consciousness Week this November.
Good day, I'm Pia Rosas Morato.
And I'm William Theo. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom. Papua New Guinea is hosting the APEC Economic Leaders Meeting this week for the first time.
President Rodrigo Duterte is attending the meeting where he will express his commitment to various business policies. More on this from Rom Dulfo.
President Rodrigo Duterte is attending the APEC Economic Leaders Meeting this week, which will be hosted by Papua New Guinea for the first time. Foreign Affairs Undersecretary Ernesto Abella says the president will be joining 20 other APEC leaders and representatives in the meeting, which will take place on November 17 and 18 in Port Moresby. Abella described the engagement as a new era for Filipino engagement on the world stage. The Philippines is seen as one of the best performing economies and the fastest growing region in the world. APEC leaders are expected to formulate a new and inclusive APEC vision beyond the year 2022. For his part, the president will raise awareness on efforts of the government to ensure food security and advance economic opportunities for women. He will also affirm commitment to a multilateral trading system and convey support for mechanisms that will enable business to take advantage of digital and online platforms. He will also meet the Filipino community to relay the administration's achievements. Last May, the president received Papua New Guinea Prime Minister Peter O'Neill during his visit to the Philippines. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Rom Dulfo.
Malacanang allays speculations of President Rodrigo Duterte granting pardon to former First Lady Imelda Romualdez Marcos. Malacanang has dismissed the concern raised by some analysis that President Rodrigo Duterte would grant pardon to former First Lady Imelda Marcos. Presidential spokesperson Sal Panelo says any talk of pardon for Marcos is not only speculative but premature. Marcos's lawyer stated that she will appeal before the Sandigan Bayan. Panelo says the president has the authority to grant pardon to persons convicted by final judgment. But in Marcos's case, the decision of the anti-graft court is not yet final. According to Panelo, the president would consider the recommendation of the Board of Pardons and Parole in granting pardon to convicts. The former First Lady was charged with graft for her involvement with various foundations as a member of Congress during the Marcos regime. She may face up to 11 years in prison for each count of graft against her.
The amendment for the proposed 2019 national budget is set to be finalized this week. The House of Representatives missed its own deadline to pass a budget on third reading before going into a congressional break on October 12. House Appropriations Committee Vice Chair Maria Carmen Zamora said the bill's third reading approval would likely be taken up by the plenary in the third week of November. Zamora gave assurance that the proposed 2019 budget amounting to 3.75 trillion pesos would be up for signing into law by President Rodrigo Duterte before December 31. One of the tasks of the small committee is to itemize the realigned funds from the Department of Public Works and Highways. The realigned funds were funneled to education, health, agriculture, and other projects of the DPWH.
Malacanang vows to make the country more welcoming for businesses to curb unemployment. The palace is also looking into increasing participation from the youth in the local workforce. Here is our report.
Malacanang on Sunday promised there will be no let-up in the efforts to bring down unemployment, making the country more conducive to investments. Presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo made this reaction after the recent 2018 third quarter SWS survey, which showed that adult joblessness hit 22%, 2.3 points higher than the second quarter figure, but 1.8 points below the 23.9% in the first quarter. He said the present administration is continuously finding ways to improve the local employment situation. He cited Republic Act 11032 or the Ease of Doing Business Act, which will streamline and reduce processing time in all government agencies. He said making the country more conducive to investments will create more and better jobs for the people. He also expressed optimism that the new TESDA Director General Isidro La Peña will contribute to the government's employment targets. Among TESDA's goals is improving industry-relevant competencies of the youth, especially unutilized, unemployed, and underemployed school dropouts, and increase their opportunities for work experience through skills training. Panelo adds the government also aims to increase labor participation among women. For the PNA Newsroom, I am Miguel Hill.
The House is set to reopen the joint inquiry on the controversial dengue vaccine program on November 20 and 21. The House Committee on Good Government and Public Accountability has yet to thresh out other concerns and issues regarding the dengue issue. House Panel Chair Xavier Romualdo says they hope to get a more complete picture of the procurement and implementation of the vaccination program. Under the term of President Noynoy Aquino, the Philippines became the first country to launch a public inoculation plan against dengue. Pharmaceutical firm Sanofi Pasteur said dengue could worsen symptoms in vaccinated children who contracted the disease for the first time. More than 700,000 Filipino school children had already received their dengue shots by the time the Department of Health suspended the immunization drive.
Police filed charges against National Democratic Front consultant Vicente Ladlad, and the government recommends getting a national ID to overseas Filipino workers. More on these and other news around the metro from Benj Mondo.
The Quezon City Police District has filed charges against NDF consultant Vicente Ladlad and two others. Ladlad and his two companions are facing charges of illegal possession of firearms, ammunition, and explosives. Meanwhile, the Philippine Statistics Authority says it will recommend getting a national ID for overseas Filipino workers. PSA head Lisa Grace Bersales says they will propose to the Philippine Overseas Employment Administration that OFWs secure a national ID before leaving the country or to get it from the consulates of their respective countries. In other news, the Department of Transportation assures the riding public that no fare hike will be carried out anytime soon for the MRT-3. Secretary Arthur Togada said there will be no fare increase unless improvements on facilities and operations are already completed. The MRT-3 rehabilitation project includes the repair and maintenance of the system's equipment and facilities and overhaul of its 72 light rail vehicles. The upgrade of the MRT-3 will take about 43 months, with the first 26 months focused on the rehabilitation of the entire system. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Benj Bondo.
Still to come, consulate officials warn Filipinos to be careful as wildfires continue to raze Ventura County in California. The LTFRB looks into reducing the taxi fare rate in Region 10. These and more when the PNA Newsroom continues.
Minimum wage earners in Metro Manila will receive an additional 25 pesos, making the minimum salary from 512 pesos to 537 pesos in the non-agriculture sector. The Parañaque Integrated Terminal Exchange will contribute in decongesting traffic in Metro Manila as it will serve as a transfer point between the provincial buses from Cavite, Western Batangas, and other in-city modes of transportation. The Philippine manufacturing sector posted a 10-month high score of 54 in October from its previous score of 52 in September, indicating an uptick in the sector's activity to usher in the fourth quarter. The joint venture between Davao City-based holding company DENR Corporation and China Telecom has been selected as the provisional new major telecommunications player in the country. The country's gross domestic product or GDP expanded 6.1% in the third quarter of the year, making it still one of Asia's fastest growing economies.
AirAsia expands its network from Clark International Airport with the opening of 3 weekly flights to Seoul, Korea starting January 19 next year. The world's best low-cost airline offers introductory fares as low as 1,990 pesos. The first booked flights were from November 6 to 10 for travel on January 19 to March 30, 2019.
The Philippine Consulate General in Los Angeles has alerted the Filipino community in California following the 2 large wildfires in Ventura County. According to Consul General Adelio Angelito Cruz, the hill fire is burning through the canyons along the Camarillo Springs and California State University Channel Islands, while the fire is near Woolsey Canyon Road. Cruz said there are no reports so far of Filipinos being affected by the fires. Authorities have ordered the evacuation of some residents near high-risk areas.
In continuing efforts to instill disaster awareness to the public, local officials in Misamis Oriental led a tsunami drill to test the preparedness of affected communities. More on this from Jasper Marie Oblina Rucat.
Municipality of Salay, Misamis Oriental demonstrated its readiness for possible earthquakes and tsunami that may occur in the future as a result of this year's concluded fourth quarter nationwide simultaneous earthquake drill and tsunami awareness day. Aside from duck cover and hold, Salay Municipal Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council showcased its preparedness to tsunami. OCD Regional Director and RDRRMC Region 10 Chairperson Rosauro Arnel Gonzalez Jr. said that the drill aims to provide safety measures and instill public awareness and calamity preparedness.
So this is about a drill, hindi lang ng duck cover and hold, kundi yung showcase yung capabilities ng ating government responders.
It also aims to demonstrate disaster alertness of the local government and the MDRRMC. Gonzalez explained that there is a need for the public to know that the government is capable of doing emergency response operations during the occurrence of earthquakes. Signaled with the pressing of button, the drill kicked off at Salay National High School as the youth and children could engage multiplier effect, extending awareness to residents, among others. The activity aims to strengthen the interoperability at all levels, from the regional to provincial and local sectors, as well as developing a common operational picture through information sharing during disaster management operations. Highlights this year's drill in Northern Mindanao is strengthening incident command system by showcasing government's disaster response capacity through an immediate building of command post, organizing incident management team, and response cluster. Meanwhile, Mayor Angelo Capistrano Jr. commends the president of participating sectors for completing the drill and expresses MDRRMC's willingness to help Salay constituents as well as the entire province of Misamis Oriental and the region. The drill was able to demonstrate the impact of shakes based on municipal earthquake impact reduction study, rapid damage assessment, and needs analysis, camp coordination and management, rescue and retrieval operations, fire suppression, emergency medical response, and management of the dead and missing. For PNA Newsroom, Jasper Marie Oblina Rucat, Philippine Information Agency.
The LTFRB in Region 10 says it is open to the proposal to reduce taxi fares. In Cagayan de Oro, taxi drivers are following the 40 peso flag down rate in addition to the 2 peso per minute and 13 to 50 per kilometer charges. Some drivers and operators, however, want the LTFRB to revert to the previous rate of 40 peso flag down plus 350 per 300 meters and 350 every 2 minutes waiting time. Regional Director Aminonden Guru said it would be a good idea to implement a flat reduced rate to be deducted to the total fare to do away with the costly process of recalibrating meters. The city has more than 2,000 taxi units servicing people living in the urban and suburban areas.
COMELEC encourages candidates in Zamboanga City to sign an election covenant, and a project from the European Union energizes 100 homes in Davao Occidental. More on these stories from the provinces from Benj Bondoc.
The Zamboanga City Council encourages candidates to sign a covenant to raise the campaign discourse for the 2019 midterm elections. Part of the covenant states that candidates should maintain a principled and morally upright campaign. It also requires cooperation with authorities to achieve a peaceful and credible elections. The covenant will be included in the agenda for the November 20 regular session of the City Council. Meanwhile, at least 100 homes in Davao Occidental have been energized thanks to a European Union project. The energization is part of EU's Access to Sustainable Energy program, which aims to provide solar power to off-grid communities. In Ilocos Norte, the National Food Authority intensified its efforts to monitor rice prices in various parts of the province. The NFA formed a composite team that will ensure the implementation of Republic Act 7581, also known as the Price Act of 1992. The NFA has also reiterated to strictly comply with trading rules and regulations, particularly on SRPs and putting price tags and rice box labels. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Benj Bondoc.
Up next, the government of Poland announces the hiring of more Filipino workers in their country. The DENR observes Global Warming and Climate Change Consciousness Week this November. The PNA Newsroom returns after these reminders.
islang ito ay lubos ang kasiyahan sapagkat dininig ng Diyos ang aming matagal na panalangin na sana ay dumating ang panahon na maibalik at maiayos muli ang islang aming pinakamamahal.
Mr. President, thank you for exercising the political will to rehabilitate the island. We appreciate your genuine concern for the island's future, our future.
Pangulong Presidente, maraming salamat talaga sa kabutihan mo na pinakita sa amin at ikaw lang talaga na Presidente ang nakapansin sa kung ano ang pangangailangan ng katutubo dito sa Boracay.
Bayad na kami. So huwag kayo magpasalamat sa akin. Pasalamat kayo sa Diyos. Hindi amin. Kami bayad na kami.
Ang lahat ng ahensya ng gobyerno ay nagkaisa upang maisalba ang ating isla.
Meron po tayong ipapamigay na 274 hectares of land sa buong lalawigan po ng Aklan. At dito po sa Boracay ay mayroon po tayong 44 na pamilya ng atin pong mga ati na makakatanggap po ng Collective Certificate of Land Ownership Award.
Yang lupa ninyo, hindi ninyo mapagpilian. But siguro, pag wala na kayo sa mundo, ang sinabi ko during the cabinet meeting, we were discussing about it. And I told them, kung ipagpili ng mga anak ninyo, apo ninyo, milyon na yan. Ang sinabi ko sa cabinet, at least kayo, in your lifetime maybe, or yung mga anak ninyo, apo, makatikim ng pera na malaki. Yun ang konsuelo ko doon.
Mahal na Pangulong President, maraming salamat dahil kahit gabi na, kahit malayo, binigyan niyo talaga kami ng pansin na puntahan dito sa Boracay.
You just address me as mayor. I'm not into that kind of no presidente. Just address me as mayor. Mas komportable ako.
Ang ating pong mahal na presidente, si Mayor Rodrigo Roa Duterte.
Ara na ta sa 9. Sumababay na ako sa inyo at maraming salamat. Uwi na ako sa amin, ha?
Here's an opportunity for those hoping to work abroad. Poland is eyeing to hire more workers from the Philippines. The Polish government wants to increase people-to-people contacts, boost tourism, promote exchanges in education and culture with the Philippine government. Polish Deputy of Mission Joanna Wojciechowska says they need more workers to meet the needs of continuous progress in their country. She says Poland also wants to stimulate economic cooperation as they export industrial spare parts and food and import electronic products. The diplomatic relations between the Philippines and Poland were established on September 22, 1973. Polish investments had been present in the Philippines since 2005. Poland has recently reopened its embassy in the country.
French President Emmanuel Macron and German Chancellor Angela Merkel clasped hands on Saturday during a solemn joint ceremony at the historic site. Macron and Merkel attended a solemn joint ceremony to commemorate the 100th anniversary of the end of World War I. The two leaders made pilgrimage to Compiègne in eastern France, where the Allies and Germany signed an initial ceasefire accord, which put an end to the First World War. They laid a wreath and unveiled a plaque celebrating Franco-German reconciliation. Macron says their message to the youth is not to yield to temptations of division, continue to lead common projects, and build the future together.
Jason Perkins of Phoenix Fuel Masters holds a comfortable lead in the Philippine Basketball Association Rookie of the Year race. Based on the stats after the elimination round of the Governor's Cup, the Phoenix Stretch 4 has 23.4 statistical points after 34 games. Perkins is actually included in the top 30 among all players, ranking 26th overall. Alaska Spitfire winger Jeron Teng is second among rookies with 18.3 SPs after 35 games. Blackwater's Toto Jose is third with 14 SPS after 32 games, followed by Magnolia's Robbie Herndon, Rainer Shine's Ray Nambatak, Northport's Joseph Gabayni, and Colombian's Dan Sara.
Combating climate change requires urgent action, and the government seeks to teach Filipinos ways to protect the environment.
This as communities find the need to build up resilience against climate change and global warming. Maricor Zapata has the story.
Floods, droughts, and other forms of extreme weather. These are some of the effects of climate change that the Philippines faces every year. To counter the effects of environmental damage, the Department of Environment and Natural Resources has slated activities that aim to help communities build resilience to climate change. Environmental cleanups, tree planting, and information dissemination are among the activities set for November. Barangay Bagong Silang in Caloocan City is one of the target communities. Barangay Bagong Silang is flood-prone and impoverished. Such, the place is highly vulnerable to the effects of climate change. The DENR's activities throughout the month are in line with the country's celebration of the Global Warming and Climate Change Consciousness Week from November 19 to 25. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Maricor Zapata.
Let's now check out the weather forecast for Metro Manila and the rest of the country. Here's another look at today's top stories.
President Duterte will be attending Papua New Guinea's first hosting of the APEC Economic Leaders Meeting. Malacanang vows to make the Philippines more business-friendly to bring down unemployment. Consulate officials warn Filipinos to be on alert as wildfires continue to raze Ventura County in California. And the DENR observes Global Warming and Climate Change Consciousness Week this November.
Thank you for watching another edition of the PNA Newsroom. To check out these and other stories, visit the PNA website or follow the Philippine News Agency on Facebook and Twitter.
For more stories about the government and how it serves the Filipinos, look for these hashtags in all of our social media platforms and websites. And Christmas is just around the corner, only 43 days more to go. Where's my gift?
It's too early.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's the thing about Christmas. It allows you to become a kid. You know, it's one of the holidays that makes me feel like a kid.
I want 12 gifts, okay? I'm telling you now, I want 12 gifts before 12 days of Christmas.
Okay, sige.
Okay, so that's on air, huh?
Yeah, that's on air. So I will. So even if it's just
Since
me.
you want to surprise me, I'm surprised.
Yes. Okay. So 12 days, 12 days. So even if I'm just the anchor, I have to show it on cap. Okay, this is my gift for the first day.
12 days.
Okay, sige.
Okay.
Done.
And that's your daily dose of the latest news.
And information that you need to know. From the PNA Newsroom, I am William Theo.
And I'm Pia Rosas Maroto. Good day.